quick recap of why we're making this repair.
This week, we are settling into our new role as camp host on Mount Hood and still handling and sorting out some of our logistics. Our propane system needs some work, and we haven't quite figured out power management yet. We have realized, however, that Starlink is not going to work, and we are going to need to find a cellular option or travel in order to continue to do eBay and upload YouTubes. Come with us while we figure this out this week. I have graffiti paint in my hair.
The graffiti paint holstered. Good job, Ranger Bearbo. Figured out our water and our sewer. Along those lines, if you're familiar with our channel, you know that we use our Jackery panels with this custom-made, custom-modified
Wiring harness
to get our panel power into the Airstream directly. And I've got to make a longer version of this harness, so I've got this wire here, and I'm going to put new ends on it to extend this so I get the panels further from the Airstream. So what I've done is taken this heavy gauge wire and added ends for solar connection, so I can extend it far away from the trailer.
But only when needed, so you didn't adjust the entire harness.
Yeah, I'd like to have that simple when I need simple, and I can make it bigger when I need to.
Nice. That tool really made it easier when I was on the roof, struggling.
I'm very excited we now have that tool.
We had it when I was doing that work, but we didn't think about it.
Now we've got a long one.
Awesome. I'm getting going for my morning rounds, and I'll give you guys a day in the life in another video as we get more settled. We're gonna have a problem with pine pitch, pine tar, pine sap, whatever it is you call it regionally. I can't move the trailer and be too precious about it trying to get washed. And if you've seen us setting up our water, you know that we have to hand pump water. So washing the trailer every day isn't going to be a thing. It's just not. But I can see it starting to build up on my windows and on the skin. And if you know of a way that is Airstream skin safe to remove that, let me know in the comments below, because I might find myself with enough ambition. We'll see how this job goes. I don't know. But I might find myself with enough ambition to try to maintain that. So come end of summer, it's just not a huge sticky pine needly, pine sap tar pitch mess.
Current location is a campground that is not our own, where we've got water fill up. So I'm filling our 37-gallon bladder right now. Too inconvenient if we're on one of our supply missions to a grocery store or whatnot, so we can just stop in and grab the water on our way by. Not a bad place to hang out for a few minutes. Our options for laundry are this tiny laundromat with 3 washers and 4 dryers, and it works. It's the closest one, and if we come frequently enough, we don't have to do a massive load in one of those $10 washers to get it all done. You can just get it done here. Our propane regulator was acting a little bit funny. We had 2 full bottles. One of them got used. Second full bottle, it should change automatically to it, and it didn't. And that makes me nervous because we could be gone all day. Maybe our fridge gets warm, we lose all the food in there. For the cost of essentially using a new regulator, it's worth the investment to just fix it. So I'm going to change it out now. One more thing while I'm thinking about it, I'm actually going to replace the pigtails too, because I really didn't like the look of them. One of them had cracks in it, and one of them had an issue with the seal right here. Hello.
Hi.
Gloves? Oh, thank you.
GoPro hanky, because it's freezing.
It's cold.
And this is your pack. Your walkie isn't going to do any good in the house.
Copy that.
I have to go to the bathroom, so.
It's going to be a good time. I hope you enjoy it.
I'll glamour all the time over here.
Yeah. All set?
To the bathrooms I go. Oh, hey, don't forget we have to move that dumpster tonight.
Yes, we'll move the dumpster. I haven't forgotten. That is Ranger Bearbell headed off to the appointed rounds. Call sign Ranger Bearbell. I can't believe how big these little, they're tiny rock dents, but with the camera angle you've got, you can see them pretty clearly. Surprising how big they look. Tanks are valved off. Gonna fully disconnect them. All right, tanks are down. Oh, I've got a fun trick for this. I figured this out some point a while ago. The whole regulator and hoses are just gonna wanna slump down like this while you're working on it. So, if I put this back on here and spin it down, enough that that hooks over, then I've got this held up where I can work on it easily. Just a minute, I can hear the fridge panicking. Took the fridge about 30 seconds to determine there was no propane. May as well start right here. No reason to take the connection here apart since I'm replacing the whole thing. Oh, 3/4 and 11/16. If you're gonna do this yourself, you might find them to be the same. It's not bad at all. I think I'm gonna switch the old bracket onto the new regulator and not use this bracket. I like the idea that I've got 2 holes in this one that go on the metal rod, and I think that's more secure, that it's hung in 2 places. And my belief is that I can use probably this screw hole over here. So this wrench will fit right here, giving you the ability to take this off here. Took me a minute to figure out exactly how to do it without messing things up. The brass is very soft. Teflon tape for gas lines is a bit thicker, and I don't know, maybe the formulation is a little bit different to handle the chemistry, but this is Teflon tape for gas. I didn't use vice grips to make this repair because they can crush and possibly ovalize the brass fittings, and that would cause a leak. An adjustable wrench and box wrenches work best for me. These are flare fittings and shouldn't require any Teflon tape. We will leak check everything when we're done to verify that. That's disheartening. The thing that may require the most creativity is just getting this bracket off the new one and putting the old bracket on it. Just a matter of different screw holes. Seems like that's structural. I think I'm gonna go with it. If at a later time it seems like I should add a second screw on here, I will, but I really don't think anything bad's gonna happen. There's not a lot of motion possible. That should do it. All right, not sure if you can see at that distance, but the indicator has flipped to green. I have propane pressure. Now I need to check to see if I have any gas leaks.
We good?
I think we're getting there. This flare was leaking just a little bit. Worry about just now. I was worried a little bit about over tightening the brass, and it was under tight. We'll check this one.
I'm gonna go Wash up.
Yep. Sorry that bathroom was beyond. Just a quick recap of why we're making this repair. Right there you can see that the collar that should be crimping this hose on is cracked. So there's a potential for a propane leak there. And the other hose, the rubber's cracked. So while I changed out the regulator that seemed to be acting up, it made sense just to replace the hoses while I was doing it. So I'm trying to diagnose our stove problem, and we've got this flicking of a flame that would come out from below the burner down here instead of where the gas comes from. And it looks like, see all the filings coming out of here? It looks like this is internally completely rusted out and needs to be replaced. It's got a huge amount of this material inside. It's just coming apart.
Is this something that people usually have to do?
I don't know. It's shaking like a maraca. There's junk inside of it.
Oh, like a lot.
Mm-hmm.
But that could be redirecting, like if stuff was plugged.
Yes, but ultimately, so I took this one off first.
It's in better condition.
It is.
Sure.
So see how where this hole is on the outside, there's a bit of a dent there.
Yep.
This burner, where that dent is, has 2 holes right through it, and that's where our gas leak, I think, was coming out, and then it's flashing up here. So dangerous equipment failure.
Well, I prefer not to use the...
Yeah, I think we have to put something there in case we forget. But if we can order replacements, that's probably for the best.
All right, well, let's look into it.
All right.
Oh, you got tons of stuff coming out of that. Listen, that's the best
one?
Can you see anywhere a part number?
The igniter has a part number here.
So I see a bunch of
Look at
replacements for the Amana stove.
Mm-hmm.
And it looks like the burners can be anywhere from $60 to $30.
Each or for a set of 3?
Each.
I think only one of ours is...
What's a new stove? If you're going to end up spending $70 a piece, is it better just to swap them out?
I don't know.
Rotate them and then replace the stove.
Yeah.
And we have to have a stove with an oven because we cook so much.
So I would say this is the best shape one.
Yeah.
I can switch it to the front here. Need to vacuum again. Probably paper towel wipe them because you'll vacuum most of it, but then you'll have to get a little bit of that. I'm going to pull the trash.
Okay.
Trash is full of the usual eggshells and iron dust. The flashes of orange are because it's burning off iron. It's like fireworks, basically. We're gonna have to plan ahead for our errands and kind of bundle things together so that we can do our grocery shopping, fuel up the truck, get propane, all those things down the hill, any other incidentals, parts, things like that. We're going to have to plan ahead so that we don't have to spend full retail price here locally. We have a dump and fill situation that's working for us over here. We've used it several times. The thing we don't know about it is where it goes. We don't know if it's into a leach field and we can dump a fair bit of volume into it, or if it happens to be into a tank that's going to fill, maybe with no warning. There's no vent anywhere. I really don't know. There's no sign of a clean out or, a top that we could open. So I really don't know what to think.
It's going to be a day for base layers, I'll tell you that.
If you're familiar with our channel, you know we don't have running water here to be able to hose this off every day to help mitigate the problem. So it's going to be a bit of elbow grease to get the sap off, and best we can do is move it away from the problem. So we have to truck in about 39 gallons of water at a time to fill our tanks. So with water being hard to come by, we don't have bulk water to just hose this off frequently. So we need to solve the problem.
Caught a little bit of a summer cold, which is a bummer. That's okay. It's kind of moving into my chest, so I'm congested. Maybe this will be the motivation I need to start running again. I'm not exactly sure what he's doing back there. But
because we're so far out of level on this site, we had to put a block in here so that it wasn't just fully extending the leg. Now to get us back on the ball to move the trailer, I've got to actually jack up the hitch to pull this block out.
So we are moving the trailer today to deal with the sap issue, since washing the trailer and truck is really, really hard here. And in order to do that, I need to block the campground in road for about 30 minutes, and we'll see how this goes.
So this is the view of our sky to the north. And the problem that creates is that Starlink won't really work with that much shade cover. We tried to run the app to figure out if we had enough sky view, and we really don't. And one of the solutions would be to be on one of these sites back here that would have a much bigger view of the sky, but we're kind of locked into the host site. It has the dump station, and all the sites are reservable online with pictures, so we can't just switch the numbers and pretend it's a different site.
Hey man, what you doing?
So had to help a camper down there. They had a travel trailer that was their first time towing it, and it turns out the hitch ball was way too low, so their foot was dragging every time they hit a bump. So I just had to help with that. So we had a quick fix of that, which was I flipped their 2-inch drop to the ball up to essentially a 2-inch rise, bringing that ball up somewhere around 4 inches. I think they're going to be a lot better going home. They only had like 2 inches, and they were dragging the foot every time they hit a bump on these rough Forest Service roads. I think it was a good solution, time well spent. Had to get the big wrench out and a little bit of exercise, but I think they're good to go.
All right, well, while you collect day use fees, I'm gonna go clean the bathrooms.
Ooh, wouldn't trade you for the world. We've also started recycling some cans. People seem to hang a bag on the dumpsters here. There's no recycling, so I think they feel bad about not recycling, so they put the cans on a bag. And maybe they're leaving them for us directly or just indirectly, but at any rate, it's a few dollars back to us, and we can basically take them to the grocery store right there and then use the can credit to buy groceries. So it's a few bucks back to us, helps offset the cost of running the truck around in the campground and spending our money on gas. So just the little things, I guess.